Welcome back to my channel. My name is Dixie Lincoln Nichols, and I dropped the ball after my 30-day YouTube challenge back on the 23rd of October. Yeah, I remember exactly what day it was. So, what happened? Why did I drop the ball? No excuses, but things happened, and life happened and happens. But I'm picking up the ball again, and I'm throwing it back out. I'm bouncing it again. So, let's talk about what happened after my 30-day challenge. So the 30-day challenge ended on the 23rd, and on the 25th, we had our third annual Life in a Pause Festival in Hudson Yards, New York City. And when I say we, I'm referring to myself and my business partner, Monique Cupid, who is the co-founder of Life in the Pause. The very last week of the challenge, I learned that my grandmother was sick, got taken to the hospital. She had water accumulation in her lungs, and they had to put a catheter in. My grandmother is 91 years old. She is dear to me. She raised me from 6 months old. When I think of my first memory and I go into my head trying to recall my first memory, it's always of my grandmother staring out the back window of the kitchen where I grew up and me on this little hill. And I don't know, she's saying something. It wasn't to me, but I have that vivid memory of her. And I must have been about 4 years old, maybe three, based on other memories that I had. I could not have been any more than 4 years old. And so my grandmother means the world to me. And soon after the event was finished, a few days later, I was on a plane, went to her, spent a month with her, helping to take care of her, spending quality time with her, taking her blood pressure, taking her oxygen saturation levels, cleaning, cooking, just sitting, chatting, talking, catching up, and bonding in ways that are important to me, especially as she is 91 years old. And so that took priority. After that, I came home, spent a week, and then was on a plane again. Now I'm in the UK, in London. So those aren't excuses, and I could have very well done exactly what I'm doing now, which was utilize YouTube because I had internet access the entire time. I had two projects I'm working on and utilized Zoom several times per day, several times per week to have meetings. So that was not the excuse. I think I started getting in my head about mode of delivery. One of the things that I did in the challenge was not to get caught up in the mode of delivery. And so my chosen mode of delivery was Zoom, and that's what I'm recording on right now. However, once I was done with the challenge, I started thinking, what should I use? What camera should I use? What device? And I purchased a really cute little Digi and loved it. And I was like, maybe I should use this. And just all the silly things started getting in the way. So I think that had a lot to do with it. And it was a really great reminder not to allow those trivial things like recording devices and mode of delivery to get in the way of the message and to get in the way of the action that needs to be taken for the purpose that I need fulfilled. And so that was that. Let me give you a recap now on how things happened. The event, first of all, the Life in a Pause event is a wonderful event in its third year. On the 25th of October, we had our third annual Life in the Pause Festival in Hudson Yards, New York. And we bring women together for learning, to be in community, and to celebrate our life transitions. And so those transitions that we focus on mainly include the menopausal transition, so people who are in perimenopause, menopause, postmenopause, and also aging. So we look at all of the lifestyle practices to optimize healthy aging. And it was a wonderful day. To be honest, the day wasn't exactly what we had hoped for. There were some disappointments. The numbers weren't what we expected, what we wanted, what we hoped for. But who needed to be there was there. 2025 was hard. It was challenging, but we rose to the challenges. And we know that not every year is going to be the same. And so this year happened to be one of those years that was exceedingly challenging. But again, we together rode the wave and rose to the challenges, got over the challenges, got over the hump, and we had a wonderful day. We had an incredible lineup of speakers. We had incredible vendors and we had incredible sponsors who resonated with the work that we're doing and the work that we work so hard to bring to fruition for 3 years. And for that, we're grateful. And of course, we are especially grateful for the women who turned out in the community, who came to be in community, who came to learn, and who came to celebrate their transitions, whether it was the perimenopausal phase, the menopause, postmenopausal phase, or whether it was to just simply celebrate and be in gratitude for aging, for the gift of getting older, because we know it's a gift, right? It's just about having the resources that we need in order to grow old with vitality and health and well-being. And that's what we are all about at Life in the Pause. So it was a wonderful day. The planning was well worth it. Hanging in there was well worth it. And we are on and thinking of next year and the work we have to do. And during that time, we also launched an incredible initiative for Black women within Life in the Pause called Black in the Pause to focus on very specific health and wellness issues that Black women face because of socioeconomic reasons. So that was the Life in the Pause event. Then there was my grandmother. So I give you a little background. I grew up in this tiny village with about 300 people. I think I shared some of that in one of my challenge videos. And it's where I learned about community and how community operates. And my grandmother at 91 still operates as a member of a community, a larger community. The community has changed, but the components of the community is still very much there. I observed while I was there how the community functions, and it still is very much there. And that's where I learned about community and how community is so important to moving goals forward, helping each other out, being supportive to one another. So it was great to be back in my home village, to be immersed in the peace and the tranquility and the safety that it offers me. It was great to be with my grandmother. I spent time on the beach. I spent time connecting with some of my community members that I hadn't seen in a long time. There are so many new young faces that I don't know in the community, but nonetheless, there were so many people, family members including, who I was able to connect with and immerse my time and energy with, and that was great. And then I also got the opportunity to do my work while I was there. So there was no reason for me not to record my videos. It was just, again, me in my head with the delivery and all that stuff. But like I said, I dropped the ball. The ball's been picked up. I'm bouncing again. And now I'm in the UK and I'm going to be here for a little while, and there is no excuse to not have my videos. So again, the goal is moving forward to share more videos. Now, if you look on my banner, it says videos when I'm able to. I like to practice what I preach. And one of the things I always say to people is to be who you are, be authentically who you are, and show up how you are able to show up and serve from a space of abundance as opposed to a space of scarcity, right? So how that works for me is instead of saying I'm going to be posting a video every week, I'm saying I am going to post videos as much as I can or whenever I can, because sometimes I won't be able to. And I always encourage people, including my clients, when you are unable to do something, don't do it. Find a way to communicate that you are unable to, because you cannot always do everything all of the time. And so knowing that, I want to show up like that on this platform whenever I can. And there are going to be sometimes I know that I cannot. So if I drop the ball because I dropped the ball, then that's on me. But there are things that are going to pop up that I have no control over and I can't show up because of A, B, C, or D. And I just won't show up. And if I have an understanding community, a supportive community, an aligned community who understands that we are living through a real life experience and consistency is better than making promises to people that you know you cannot possibly fulfill. Hence the reason I said that I will post episodes whenever I can. The thing with me is I move with intention and not force, because force is never fruitful. Anything forced is never fruitful. And I think I've said that in some of my videos before. So moving with intention is much better. Moving with intention, for me, moves the needle and helps me to get things done. Last year, Christmas was wonderful. It felt heavy. It still feels a bit heavy because of everything that's happening in the world, but I have made the intention to enjoy the season and enjoy the holidays because this time of year is my favorite time of year. And I want to be able to experience the joy and the love that accompanies this season. I will definitely be back to share with you some of the things that I've learned throughout the year. Honestly, I don't even feel like doing a recap because it was like that type of year. And I feel I've shared enough in my challenge where you know that the year was, but here I am, still standing. And if you're watching, you're still standing. And if you've dropped the ball, you can pick up the ball and you can start bouncing again. It is never too late. It's okay. We are human beings having a human experience in this human-centered world, in this time-space continuum. So guess what? No one's expecting anyone to be perfect. I don't want people to ever think that I am trying to be perfect. I don't desire to be perfect. Perfect, I'm sure, is boring. I can't tell you for sure because I've never attained perfection, but I'm almost certain that it's boring. It's much more fun messing up sometimes and then learning the lessons from those mess ups. That's exciting and that's fun. Looking back at where you've been and looking at where you stand currently is fun. So it's good to be back. And like I said, the ball is in my court and I'm bouncing it again and looking forward to seeing you on the next video. I have lots of really fun, amazing things for women who are aging, lifestyle resources that I've created on my journey as a strategist and as a consultant and as a coach and as an educator and as an entrepreneur and co-founder. Tons of resources. And so at 54, it gives me great pleasure to be able to share a lot of what I have learned. I have been on a 13-year self-care journey. It has taken great patience, but I have learned incredible lessons and I have attained a lot of wisdom, which I am sharing with you. Like and subscribe to my channel, and you can check out my earlier challenge videos over here. I'll see you in the next video.